All right, here's our review for our factoring. And the way you're going to use this film is to fast forward to check your answers on your review sheet. And if you get it incorrect, you're going to rewind it so that you can see the whole problem and then move on to the next one. All right, let's take a look at this first one. We've got a binomial, meaning we have two terms. And so I have 12a squared b squared minus 3ab. I can see that in the 12 and the 3, a 3 is in common. And then I can pull out an a and b. Now the reason I know to pull out that a and b is because that's the lowest of all of my variables, the lowest degree of all my variables. So 3ab comes out and I'm left with 4, which is how many times 3 goes into 12. And then a squared divided by a is just a, b squared divided by b is just b, and then I'm going to subtract 1 because once I take 3ab divided by 3ab, I get 1, and that's my answer. All right, let's take a look at the next one. It is also a binomial, but this one I notice a minus sign right here, and I have two perfect squares. So this is going to be a difference of squares. So I automatically put my two sets of parentheses, take the square root of 4x squared, and I get 2x. And the square root of 9 is 3, and then I add a plus and a minus, and I have that. The next one also is a difference of squares, again, another binomial. So I put my two sets of parentheses, x, and then the square root of 16y squared is 4y. So 4y goes on both sides, 1 plus, 1 minus, and we've got it. This next one is 4 terms. So when we see 4 terms, we're automatically going to think about grouping. So let's go ahead and see this first section, what we can take out. So we take out an x, and we end up with x minus 4. And then we're going to add to that 2 can come out, and also y can come out. And so we end up with x minus 4. So I have a common binomial between the two. So then my final answer is x plus 2y, which is the first and the second term before those, times x minus 4. The next one, we have x squared minus 9x plus 20. This is a trinomial. We have 3, just like a tricycle. So if I'm doing that, I look at a times c. Well, a is 1 and c is 20. So 1 times 20 is 20. And then I look at all of the factors of 20. So 2 and 10, 4 and 5. This is a plus sign, which means both of my terms have to have the same sign, either both positive or both negative. This negative 9 tells me that they're both negative. So 2 terms that add up to equal 9 is this 4 and 5. So I'm left with x minus 4 times x minus 5. 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. This will be the last one on this film, and then we'll keep going with the next one. This is an a that has a value greater than 1. So my a times c is going to equal 9 times 4, which is 36. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 12x plus 36. Now I want to find 2 terms that add up to equal negative 12. My 36 is a positive, which means both have to have the same sign for my factors. And that sign is going to be negative because it's a negative 12. So when I do my factors, 36, I can tell that negative 6 and negative 6 are both going to add up to negative 12. Again, if you can't pull that off right away, go ahead and factor all of them. 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12. So just keep that going. So I'm going to go ahead and do this based on this polynomial. So x minus 6 and x minus 6. Then the last step is to take my a value and divide both of those terms by that. Now here's the tricky part. Before I can slide it over, I have to reduce those. So this actually becomes x minus 2/3 times x minus 2/3. Now I can go ahead and go through the process of sliding those over. So I have 3x minus 2 and 3x minus 2.